Hello everyone, Richard Lewis here with another video. I know it's been a while, I know there's been a few days where you've had to entertain yourselves and, get your news from other sources, but I've been ill, I've been moving, okay? So I finally got my place set up in America, I finally got my setup. The camera should look a little bit better, the sound should sound a little bit better.
It would look better if, of course, we weren't using a different program that just cuts off top of your head. But it's better sound, which is what people
I like not having the top of my head in because, as I said, my baldness is getting out of fucking control. Like it's getting to that stage now where it's like just a random patchy baldness.
What's
like
that?
with uneven baldness.
What's that toy called where it has like a beard and the hair, and you can change around the beard?
What
and
was
the hair?
it? Geopet or something?
No, no, it's a guy's head, and he has a beard, and you can like move the beard to the top of his head.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? That's just fucking
on head toy.
Is this really how we're starting
We'll
a
do it
video?
live.
Fucking hell, we'll do it live.
Woolly
Right.
Willy, mate.
Yeah. It's a what?
A Woolly Willy.
A what?
Oh wait, no, this isn't even it. This is Woolly
Mate.
Willy's a magnetic drawing toy, so you can just like draw on his head.
What have you brought? A wet willy or whatever?
No,
the fuck
Woolly
it's called?
Willy.
Wally Willy.
Woolly Willy.
Woolly Willy.
Yeah.
This video's a mess.
That isn't
man.
even the one I was thinking of, though. I can't remember the other one.
Right, well, you keep your thoughts where they fucking belong in your fucking head and never bring them here out into the fucking real world. So anyway, we've been moving. I've been moving. Sam's still, yeah, he's doing nothing with his life. Literally nothing. And obviously, been super busy with work and everything, and I had bronchitis. I'm pretty sick at the moment, but we must power on. Now, one of the things we like to do in our channel is we have a list of bad guys. We have a rogues gallery. I've talked about this before. These are people we will never get tired about doing stories about until they have atoned for their many, many sins. Now, about 6 days ago, about a week ago, at the time of recording this, so it's kind of old news. I'm sure you might know about it already, but for those that don't, there was some incredible news. You know how we feel about No Man's Sky. I went on Twitter. I called on the day it was released, lambasted it. I'd already called that it was never going to live up to the hype. But here's the thing. Whereas the more pragmatic people in the games review community, like Total Biscuit, and Jim Sterling to a lesser degree, although he was a bit more critical, they were saying, it's not their fault. It's not Hello Games' fault. It's not Sean Murray's fault that this hype got out of control. I'm on the opposite side of the fucking spectrum. I think it's absolutely their fucking fault. Of course you control the message. The media are just little fucking guppies, like just feed me the crumbs, like that, right? Like you've got to throw them the info. And Sean Murray and Hello Games, but in particular Sean Murray, lied at every fucking opportunity that he had to hype up this game to make it sound bigger than it could ever possibly be. And we ended up with Spore 2. In fact, I'm going to go one further. This is worse than Spore. I remember when Spore came out. Playing through it once was actually satisfying. Playing through No Man's Sky is a fist in the ass. It is so fucking lame. I've watched the videos. I told you, I put 5 hours in. I was like, brilliant, And everyone was going, oh, Richard, is 5 hours long enough? 5 hours? Yeah, 5 hours is fucking long enough because it's the same thing. People, when you get closer to the center of this fuck up, you're wrong.
The co-host didn't even play the game. How does he know they lied?
Yeah, how do I know they lied? Well, put it this way. Has anyone found that fucking sandworm yet? That's how I know they fucking lied. Jesus Christ. So anyway, the game, if you watch it all the way through, it doesn't even have a satisfying conclusion. It's bullshit. You just go to another universe and start the process over again. And people have even worked their way through all the many universes that you have to do the same thing over and over again, thinking there's going to be some meta message, some kind of grand design to it all, that it was all going to be like a joke, a test. No, it's just a shit, unfinished game where the developers lied about it. So fuck Hello Games, and in particular, fuck that grinning cunt mannequin Sean Murray. Fuck him. He is literally a man of two swords. Hey, if we need to show to future civilizations what a grinning cunt would look like. We'll just use the Sean Murray dummy. That should cover it. So there you go, right? So definitely fuck this guy. So a great bit of news. For starters, for once, Reddit, especially for me, was the bearer of good news. It actually had something positive to say for itself, which I was fucking astounded about. And this was in the No Man's Sky subreddit, which is a hilarious subreddit. It's really funny. You've got, like, I'd probably say about 50%, 50 to 60% of the people are just posting going, what the fuck is happening? Why is this game bad? And then you've got the other 50 to 40% kind of saying, it's still good. Still good. Look. Yeah, look, here's an upside down fish I found. Yeah, dick monster. It's a dick monster. Here's a monster with a glance for a face. So, all right, cool. Fucking super excited for you guys. Like, if that's all it takes, brilliant. Fuck, me and Sam are going to design our own game.
I'll take you 40 quid.
Yeah, cock battles. It's procedurally generated penises just like slapping each other. Like, it's fantastic, right? We'll take 45 of your fucking hard-earned fucking pounds, right, and put them in our pocket, laugh all the way to the bank, and then go cut media fucking, cut the radio, cut all media communications, like after being non-stop in the media for about 3 fucking years, just as soon as everyone's cottoned on to the scam, right? So here's the good news that was on Reddit. This Reddit thread in the official No Man's Sky subreddit was that the ASA, that's the Advertising Standards Agency in the UK, had given an official response to a Reddit user called ASA UK, who is a hero in our times. I'd love to actually do an interview with him. ASA, if you ever find this video, please get in touch with me, tweet at me, do whatever you have to do. I'd love to talk to you directly, because it seems that this guy actually drove this himself. He didn't sit around and bitch about it like guys like me do, and everyone else who got burned by this shit game. He actually went out and did something about it and wrote to the Advertising Standards Agency. And he put a post up saying, today, I received a response from the ASA with regards to the trailers, screenshots, and general information on the Steam store page of No Man's Sky with regards to them being misleading and misrepresenting the actual game, which is undeniable that they did, by the way. As I said, until a sandworm turns up, fuck you, you lied. I can't speak about other countries, but in the UK, there are regulations about providing advertising material that could mislead a consumer in some way, e.g. displaying things that do not, in fact, exist, Sandworm. The ASA say they have received a number of complaints, and so the points below are not necessarily all related to things I personally took issue with, but are the issues they have picked out at the most clear-cut problems from amongst all complaints. In the ASA response, they say that both Hello Games and Valve, terrible year for Valve with the lawsuits and the legal reprisals, have a joint responsibility. And so both organizations have now been contacted by the ASA and have been told to respond to the following issues, which the ASA picked out as the primary issues, compiled from a number of complainants that contacted the ASA. God bless every one of you. So in the videos, it says here, the user interface design is different. Ship flying behavior, it's in formation with a wingman. We pointed that out in our video. You're never doing that in No Man's Sky. That just doesn't happen. People even said to me, like, oh, no, that did happen to me. Fuck up. Are you on drugs? Like, come on. Right? Behavior of animals. They're in herds. They destroy scenery in water, reacting to surroundings. In reality, you go up to an animal, you can sort of pet it or kill it. Like, fuck, exciting. It's like one of Sam's dates. You know what I mean? Yeah, which one? And patriarchy. All right, large-scale space combat, definitely not happening. I mean, we all remember that video. Sean Murray got up and he did that presentation. I am now choosing to engage in a space combat. I can pick a side. I can influence it. Fuck off. Never happening. Not happening in your shit game. Structures and buildings as pictured, flowing water, speed of galaxy, warp loading time. You all know that's a travesty. Aiming systems. Then in the screenshots, size of creatures. Yep, we all agree they're pretty much a muchness. There's not like a huge diversity in terms of scale. Behavior of ships and sentinels, structures and buildings as pictured. And then the store page in general, quality of graphics. I think we can all agree they're not up to the par of the teaser trailer, and references to lack of loading screens, trade convoys between stars, and factions vying over territory, all of which were used in the advertising material for the game. Now, you can see here the complaint. It says, if moderators would like to provide evidence, verify this. Obviously, you have to provide proof when you're making these accusations. But he didn't want to because there was private information involved. He said, note that the complaint only related to the store page. The ASA did comment about videos, marketing materials, such as the IGN previews elsewhere, and said this We will ensure the advertisers are made aware of any points relating to other marketing material under the control, such as the Hello Games YouTube channel and website. They also said the outcomes of ASA investigations are cross-applicable to other marketing making the same claims. So any decision reached in relation to the Steam page would also apply to other advertising for No Man's Sky where the same or similar or materially similar claims appear. So the outcome would basically influence everything. It wouldn't just be the Steam page. It would be all of their advertising material that they've used, every promotional element to it. So big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. And I got to say, I just couldn't be happier, you know, because this game looks fuck all like how it was, you know, promoted to us, how it was sold to us. And for a Reddit user to come forth and put this forward for just a regular guy, a consumer, this is a big win. Let's be honest, right? In the gaming industry now, the consumer gets fucking shafted, dude. Like, pre-order your game, which basically is top up our money in advance. It might not even be finished. It might not resemble the finished product. You know, there's companies out there that say pre-order and refuse to make review copies available. It's just so egregious. It's just so unreasonable. Like, basically, just trust us to not make a shit game and give us your money up front. And you've got no recourse if the game is shit. There's such a small window for Steam refunds. It's incredibly hard to refund digital products anyway. Just a nightmare. And then, you know, the DLC models where you get a game, it's not even finished. It would be like walking into a fucking store, buying a PC, and it's just the case. Oh, you want a CPU? That's DLC, mate. You got to buy that separate. Hang on, I just paid fucking two grand for it. No, you get the deal. It's another 50 quid, and we'll give you the CPU you've already ostensibly paid for in advance. Gamers get fucking shafted. So, and don't even get me started on Greenlight and all of that nonsense. People that come in, Kickstarter, right? There's just a million ways to fuck over the gaming consumer these days. And unfortunately, because we care about games and we fucking love games, we just fall for it hook, line, and sinker every time. Like, I'm a sucker for it. I refuse on principle to do pre-order. But, you know, even games that I don't play all that much, I kind of feel, gotta have that DLC, though. Because what if I ever do decide to play it? I want the full, complete experience, you know? And you know, I hate DLC over expansion packs, right? I used to love expansion packs as a younger guy. That was like exciting, you know. DLC is just shit you should have had to begin with, almost always. Anyway, so we'll go to Eurogamer now. They picked it up and they ran with the story. It just confirmed that the ASA are gonna go into this, and they clarify that the ASA, for those that don't know, you know, they're basically the ombudsman. They're a watchdog, if you like, for all marketing that exists in the UK. They confirmed that they received several complaints. It wasn't just ASA UK, and they also clarify, you know, what ASA UK said in his post and quote him. And I think this is the crux of the matter here. He didn't ask for a refund, but he did feel personally misled. The marketing of the game was very different to the end game. The end game is a shallow screenshot generator, and in some ways it reminded me of Sport. Again, that comparison. So Eurogamer completely, you know, report this, and they've actually been very good. I'm going to talk about this a little bit further on in the video, but there is a weird fucking cult around No Man's Sky. There's a lot of people in the gaming media that tried to defend this shit game. And I read articles in The Guardian where they're like, oh, you know, does it matter if you only get 12 hours of entertainment out of a full price game? You know, you only get a 30-minute of tantalizing the taste buds for an expensive meal. Let's think about it as an experience and not a game. Well, you know, look, I get what you're saying. I like the idea of games as art, but fundamentally, at the core, right, they're entertainment. If you're a very, very good game, an amazing game, you transcend your function and become art. First and foremost, the principal duty is to entertain and engage the person who paid for that experience, you know? And I think No Man's Sky falls woefully short. I read articles, I mean, even in PC Gamer, like long after they'd given it a modest review. They didn't even pan it. They gave it a modest review. And they were like still doing articles. The 10 craziest creatures we bumped it. They're all dick monsters, mate. They're all dick monsters, jellyfish, or some form of fucking, quadruped. It's shit. It's garbage. Like some pseudo dinosaur with a deer's head. Brilliant. Super excited, jerking off. They were still running these articles. Our best screenshots, our craziest planets. This is all promotional material for the game. So you're even continuing to promote the game long after it's been proven to be an absolute atrocity, which is a disgrace. So Eurogamer were quite good. They've done other reports about disgruntled players that try to get refunds. They called out Sean Murray on the lack of multiplayer, this kind of thing. Eurogamer have been pretty even by games media standards. Now, this is where it gets interesting. 4 days ago, PC Gamer spoke to a lawyer, which seems a good thing to do. Is this now a legal matter? And they said, to better understand the potential consequences of the UK's Advertising Standard Authority's investigation at No Man's Sky, they reached out to a number of legal experts, including Ryan Morrison, who you'll know from this channel, Stephen MacArthur, of the MacArthur law firm, Jazz Purewal. Sorry, I know Jazz. I've probably mangled your surname. I'm not very good at pronunciation. Who we know, and Tom Buscaglia, the game attorney. So all of these people that we will know from the games community, and they've all chipped in and give their expertise. Now, what's super interesting is this isn't kind of the first time we've seen lawsuits brought against games for false advertising. We've seen the ASA make a ruling on Wolfenstein, The New Order. We've seen them do it on the Dungeon Keeper mobile game, which, by the way, is one of the apps that was criminal. That was straight out. Everyone should have gone to jail who was involved in that.
I didn't even see that. What was that?
Oh, mate, it's fucking bad, dude. Like, just have a look, Google it while I'm ranting away. But basically, they took this beloved franchise. We all have a bit of Dungeon Keeper. They just turned it into this, like, microtransaction heavy, like, load of shit that bore little to no resemblance to the original game. Like, it's an absolute atrocity. Like, just have a look at it, mate. Watch how they just mine you for fucking microtransactions. Like, it's all done on a timer for, like, when you can build things. Oh, but you can pay to speed it up. It's like, what is that got to do with Dungeon Keeper, dog? It's fucking disgusting. So you can see here the ASA determined that the content and features shown in an email ad for the game were misleading due to their being locked behind paid currency, despite the ad emphasizing that the game was free. So this is very good for games that are on that freemium model. There has to be limits to it. So the ASA has done a number of good work. There was also a lawsuit filed against Aliens Colonial Marines, which we all know. We all remember that amazing demo of the Colonial Marines. Beautiful high-res textures. Xenomorphs jumping out of wreckage, attacking Marines. That fundamental experience, what we all loved about Aliens versus Predator, what we love about the film, fucking Aliens, right? Like, this was a lawsuit that was filed against Sega and Gearbox on behalf of the owners of the game. And then Gearbox got dropped from the suit, and the scope of the case was dropped because it only ended up a class action that represented 2 plaintiffs. But everybody knows that game didn't fucking represent at all what was put out in demos and promotional material. This was also true the Killzone, Shadowfall. There's some other notable stuff. Now, it's kind of up in the air, even with all of these precedents and things that have happened before, whether the ASA would rule against it. It's certainly not for me to say. It's up in the air, even if you are a legal expert in that field. And I don't want to add any misinformation to the noise. But where it gets interesting is that even if the ASA were to make a ruling, there would be no necessity for the U.S. equivalent, the FTC, to act in line with that. It's a completely separate body. And Ryan Morrison even says in this article that even if the ASA concludes that players have been misled under American law, he doesn't believe they've actually broken the law. So that's an interesting point in and of itself. And also as well, Buscaglia and Ryan are both sympathetic towards the challenge Hello Games faced in capturing the vast possibilities of a procedurally generated universe in a hand play of gameplay clips and screenshots. Which, okay, I can maybe see that. I can maybe see that argument, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to just elaborate on that now. So read that article. That'll give you kind of an overview of what the likely outcome of this is. But let's just move on to killscreen.com. This is an article by Amanda Hudgens, No Man's Sky and the Trickiness of Advertising and Procedurally Generated Games. Now, this overlaps with what Ryan was talking about here, that it's difficult, apparently, to advertise a procedurally generated game because you got all these different possibilities, different outcomes, different creatures. The fundamental core of this argument is that the things that are in the trailer could exist out there in an 18 quintillion planet universe, and people might never find them. So how do you advertise something that's potentially infinite? How do you advertise something that will vary from one player to another so vastly? Now, I'm going to just file this article under kind of almost, again, that sympathy, because Hello Games, they're a small studio, even with the support of Sony, and they talked a good game. And Sean Murray's, if he wasn't such a grinning cunt, he might even be a likable guy. But the reality is, I am not getting sucked into this idea that somehow it was the product itself that let them down. There are no sandworms in the game. There is not a single planet in the world that looks anything like that one in the trailer, with at least 3 different species on it, all interacting, all independent. There's no flying in formation. This is gibberish. This is nonsense. And these things wouldn't happen, will not exist, even in a procedurally generated world. They will not occur. Now, here's the thing. They also must have had the technology, right? Because it's their technology. It's in their game. So why didn't you have a commitment as Hello Games to say, look, all our advertising, all our stuff is going to be literally generated from within the game itself? Right? They didn't do that. They didn't say, we're just going to fire up a game and see what comes out. This is what it looks like, guys. They cherry-picked everything. So it was selective advertising. And yes, that is the point of advertising. But equally, don't turn around and say, oh, it's not misleading, or there was a challenge, Bull fucking shit. No way on God's green earth did they not know that they were presenting a better product than what people were actually going to get when they installed it on their machines. There's just no way. There's no way, as the makers of the game, you couldn't know what it was like. Now, here's the thing. If you want to be sympathetic about them, talk about time pressure, talk about not being able to delay the product, talk about Sony sticking their fingers in the gumbo. All of that might be true. I have no idea. That's a more valid excuse, right? That hey, we thought we could get it out in this time frame. We didn't. We do not want to launch a bad game. And there's a well-known saying in the industry. I forget who said it, but it's certainly often repeated. And it's that a late game can be great, but a bad game that's rushed out on time will be bad forever. You know what I mean? So you have to have you got to find that balance, and they didn't. They didn't find that balance. They went all in on releasing it on this day, even with a slight delay. We got an unfinished product. There's no doubt about it. It's an unfinished game. So you can see in this next thing here. This is interesting. This is over in Tech Times, right? The shit show is about to get better, I think, because obviously now that all of this is happening, someone's got to come out and face the music, and the band is playing. And the crowd are chanting, Murray, 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 Murray. And there's a lot of talk that he's going to come out and maybe face the public. And there's a video games journalist called Jeff Keighley. And he basically called him out on YouTube and said that, he's mostly been silent because he himself had played a part in promoting the game prior to it. And he wonders if he himself had perhaps played a part in this, huge expectation that the game couldn't possibly live up to. And he said, I fretted over the years. Maybe the platform we gave him was too big and created this black hole he couldn't pull himself out of. But no matter what, you have to be honest with your fans. You can't lie. And Sean wanted to preserve the promise and mystery of the game so much, he started to disrespect his audience. That's absolutely key there. So Keighley has extended this invitation for Sean Murray to come out and actually address the fucking audience he disrespected, address some of the lies. Now, I don't know what the strategy is going to be. I don't know if he's going to get some PR coaching and they're going to say, look, dude, You got to not lie. You got to fucking, keep it on the down low. You got to be honest this time. Whether it's going to be Hello Games that bear the brunt of responsibility, Sony, because let's not forget, Sony themselves even came out and said, yeah, we probably could have handled the promotion of No Man's Sky a lot better than what we actually did. I mean, they don't give a fuck. They're laughing all the way to the bank. It's Steam's biggest release this year. That's how much money this piece of shit game made. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when Sean Murray does decide to come out and face the music. I just hope that people aren't going to be sympathetic just because he's got a grin and he's all meek and yeah. There's absolutely no fucking way. I want the Advertising Standards Agency to fucking rip these guys a new one. I want the FTC to rip these guys a new one. I want Sean Murray to be fucking castigated, humiliated, learn his fucking lesson. And then moving forward, I want us to get to a point where games developers realize they can't just lie to their fucking audience, right? They can't just lie to us repeatedly. They can't just put out a fake fucking trailer for things that cannot be replicated in their game and then say, oh, well, it is procedurally generated, dudes. There's a random element. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That isn't going to fucking fly anymore. And hopefully gaming fans, gaming enthusiasts, consumers aren't going to get ripped off anymore. So that's my rant over. Sam, anything to add? I guess you were looking at that Dungeon Master thing. Dungeon Keeper, sorry.
I wasn't. It looks ridiculous. But,
yeah, it's dog shit, innit?
Anything to add? Murray's a dick monster.
Murray is a dick monster, as always. The last word goes to Sam, super intelligent proto being that he is. It's good to be back. It's good to be making videos. Fuck No Man's Sky. Fuck Sean Murray. And we'll see you next time.